So here we are again at the Ignition Studio Dealer News Live segment, AIME Expo 2026. Rowan, seems like it was just yesterday, but maybe it was last year's AIME Expo when Ekho was introduced to this audience. What's happened with it? Well, actually, let's go back. Who are you? What do you do? And what's an Ekho?
Yeah, for sure. Robin, thanks for having me, and good to see you again. So yeah, in short, Ekho is the Shopify for dealerships. And what that ultimately means is we built a system that allows dealers to do two main things. One is sell vehicles online in any state in the US compliantly. And we effectively automate the sale end to end, from financing desking to titling and registration, insurance verification, signature collection, fraud detection, the whole 9 yards. And then on the other side of that, you can use the same system to automate the closing of deals, taking care of all the cumbersome parts of the deal that no one in the dealership really wants to handle. So yeah, ultimately that's what we do.
So there's a couple key terms in there. For me and a lot of franchise dealers, compliant is a big one. And you've done all the beta testing and the hard work and all of that. And so let's go. What does compliant really mean within the space of selling the vehicle online?
Yeah, for sure. For context, we started selling units and working with dealers early in 2024 for the first time. However, that's not when we started the company. So we started the company about 18 months before that. And we spent that time going out, working with the same lawyers that did Carvana, that did TrueCar, Tesla, etc., basically figuring out what are all the licenses we need to figure out in every state, what are the different titling and registration workflows, how do we calculate, collect, and remit tax in every jurisdiction. And so we did all that work, spent a lot of money on it to then ultimately be in a position to compliantly facilitate sales end-to-end in all 50 states in 2024. What does that mean for dealers? Yeah, it's everything, right? So let's go through the vehicle sales stack. On the financing side, figuring out the correct lender integrations, how do we clear STIPs compliantly, how do we desk that deal and make sure that we're remitting the right amount of tax, etc. So that's a whole system in our stack that takes care of that. Titling and registration, I would argue, is the most complicated. So as you are acutely aware, you have to title and register a vehicle where the buyer is located, not necessarily where you're licensed, but where you are licensed can have implications based on perhaps a tax relationship that the pair of states might have. And so mapping out titling and registration workflows, making sure we're getting the right forms populated and the right types of signatures on those forms. So think e-signature, wet signature, notarization, secured POA. We handle all of that. And then, the list goes on. Liability insurance is oftentimes a requirement, particularly for road legal units. So we verify that on behalf of the dealership. We take care of sales docs, signatures, and then we ultimately ship that packet to the DMV, get it titled and registered, keep lenders happy, get plates over to the buyer. And, that's the tip of the iceberg. But yeah.
So the other operative term, and you've just covered everything, it's all automatic. The dealer does not have to get involved in that step because you've done all of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I think an important caveat there is it's very much human in the loop. And I think dealers play what I would argue is a QA role in our system, at quality assurance, in the sense that when we're automating each of the different steps that we've whittled down to what we call action items, right? So you can think of the signing of a bill of sale as an action item that both the buyer and the selling dealer need to do. The dealer has complete visibility of what's happening through the buyer's journey, even in the case that it's an automated sale. And they can intervene if they have a question about, how data is being entered. And then when it is their time, the dealer's time to complete a given action item within our system, they're notified, invited back to our portal, and they can quickly execute that action item to move the sale along.
For a dealer who's looking to implement Ekho's system, do they need a trained salesperson, or is this something that just about anybody who's already working at F&I desk can handle?
Very much the latter. So I think of what Ekho is doing as democratizing really the ability to close a deal. And with the dealers we're working with today, in their words, and not necessarily mine, we give salespeople superpowers. So gone are the days, at least in theory, if you wanted to do it, where you've got kind of 4 or 5 different people in the dealership that need to touch the deal before it's officially closed. You can have a salesperson, an enthusiast, even take a lead to a closed buyer in a couple of minutes using Ekho's tool. And at the same time, if you've got a more involved process, if you want to still have a buyer sit down in the box and curate the deal in a more kind of high touch way, the system adapts to that too. And so, yeah, it's really a kind of a create your own journey type tool.
Awesome. So last year it was the rollout. How has the reception been within the industry and from outside our industry, these adjacent people, the lenders, the finance companies, the state legislatures, all of these other moving pieces?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of state legislature, I'm here right now, so everything must have gone pretty well now, but all has gone incredibly well. I mean, some exciting updates on our front are that we closed our Series A. I think since I last spoke to you, we've raised a total of $17.3 million to date from folks like JP Morgan, Activent, Winnebago Industries, etc. And obviously that was on the back of the early traction we had. And yeah, since we last spoke, we've launched our what we call Ekho Dealer, the product that is purpose built for a standalone dealership or dealer group. And we've been very, very selective in who the earliest cohorts of dealers are that are adopting the tool. Folks that we had worked with before that were already Ekho evangelists, saw the vision, and it's been incredibly well received. We're growing that side of the business incredibly fast, whilst being thoughtful about rollout as well. And so, no, things have gone incredibly well at a team now of just over 30 very smart people. And yeah, feels like we're just getting started.
So for our live stream people here at the show, where can dealers find you?
Yeah, on our website, ekho.com. It's Ekho with a K. So ekho.com is our website. You can learn about our different products on the website. You can book a demo from there. That's probably the easiest way, for sure.
Anything else we need to touch upon, or we check bases next year when Ekho is running 50% of the nation's transactions?
Yeah, I think the thing, at least in the context of AIME Expo, that I'm most excited about, and it's worth mentioning here, is a new tool that we actually worked very hard on over the holiday with a subset of our team to launch, and it's a really cool AI tool that really any dealer can use, and it does not necessarily require that you adopt our entire system, which I think is worth noting. It's something called Ekho GEO. You could come over to our booth at 1504 and try it out. Essentially, it's a website grader and AI visibility report that we provide to you for free. So you can come up to our booth, you put your dealership name into this tool, and what we do is we locate your 10 or 15 closest competitors around you. There's an AI that's actually classifying your dealership, what category you're in, what brands you carry, to understand who those competitors are. We're then curating a set of prompts that we send off to the most popular AI tools like ChatGPT, like Perplexity, things like, what's the best place to buy a UTV in Phoenix, Arizona, depending on where your dealership is located. And we simulate these prompts to all these tools. We then extract the answers that the AI tools are giving back to us, and we locate how highly you're ranked in that answer. Now, the reason we're doing that is because we ran a big survey with a lot of the leads and buyers that go through ecosystems, and around 30% of your leads today are using AI search to find their next ride. And so out of that audit comes a report, and it's all free, that tells you, hey, you're ranking below 6 of your closest competitors in AI search. You're ranking below 7 of them in Google search. And we show you why you're ranking below these people with things like, maybe you don't have blogs on your website. Maybe you're not including frequently asked questions on your VDPs. Maybe you don't have a sitemap attached to your website. So we do a full audit, and it just gives you a sense as a dealer, how can I be more visible online, especially as search is moving away from Google search and over to tools like ChatGPT, etc.
So they've got his January issue. He talks about that and training chatbots. Oh, look, there's Jack Penn. So I want to see a point where you and Dave can talk about these things, because artificial intelligence is way better than my subhuman intelligence, and I do not understand what I'm talking about. I'm a print dinosaur, and I'm afraid of AI, but I also realize that it is the way of the world, and how do we make it a tool and not become its slaves?
Yeah, I mean, I have a fairly philosophical note there, which is to say, for retailers in any industry, but let's talk about dealers in particular. I think AI is such an exciting thing, and it actually provides an arbitrage opportunity to dealers. And I'll tell you why I think that. Because in the prior world where we were all only using Google search, the problem as a dealer is that you've got these huge aggregators in the form of marketplaces, lead generators, and not necessarily on the power sports side, but on the car side, you've got vertically integrated marketplaces like Carvana. And what these players can do is they can absolutely dominate, and they did dominate SEO and SEM, so that no matter where you were geographically in the country as a dealer, these aggregators were going to show up first in Google search results, and your local leads were searching up for, you know, a motorcycle or a car or an ATV. Now in AI search, which is what this tool that I just spoke about, it revolves around, it now is a great equalizer, in my opinion, in that AI relies solely on conversations and trust signals, and not necessarily keywords and how much you've invested into Google Ads. And that means that you as a dealer, provided you have quality content on your website, that you follow all the best practices of letting an LLM bot scrape your site, you can show up first in responses to your local audience, and you can compete head to head far more fairly with the aggregators. And even when the AI tools start to offer, you know, advertising capabilities, it's not as if the huge hundreds of millions of dollars of investment that these aggregators have put into Google's ads is transferable. And so it's a really exciting time for retailers and dealers and dealer groups, because it's a level playing field all of a sudden, and visibility is up for grabs.
Rowan, thank you for setting the record straight. I may rest a little bit easier. I still don't trust AI, but we are real people. We're in an industry that's populated by dealers selling products that AI doesn't write. So we still have.
We're safe. We're safe for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin.